Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're unpacking a really innovative approach to AI. It promises to go beyond just being smart.
Mm.
We're looking at how it aims to be, well, inherently trustworthy, truly effortless to use, and potentially bring about some profound, lasting transformation in your life.
Right. Imagine AI knowing you're swamped and suggesting a break with a perfectly timed call, not some annoying notification.
Exactly, that kind of intuitive help.
That's where we're heading. We're diving into something called Theta Driven Coach, its core FIM patent, and this revolutionary Unrocall platform.
Okay.
And this isn't just, another app you download and forget. It's really about a new paradigm, a different way for AI to seamlessly blend in and actually improve your life without you constantly staring at a screen.
And we've got some substantial material for this deep dive, a comprehensive strategic doc,
Well,
and a pretty detailed patent application.
yeah, the real blueprints.
So we're aiming to give you a shortcut, basically, to see how all these, well, intricate pieces fit together,
Mhm.
how they enable what feels almost like an invisible architect working for your success.
Hmm.
Our goal here is to show how this system tries to de-risk AI, make it genuinely explainable, and ultimately earn your trust.
That trust piece is absolutely central.
So let's start right there with the core of that trust. The FIM, or Fractal Identity Map, patent. It's positioned as the, quote, beating heart of the system.
It is.
That sounds like more than just a feature. It sounds like a fundamental change in how AI is built. What makes it so different?
It really is a fundamental shift. MEM's approach is all about this map of thought versus the typical chain of thought.
Okay, map versus chain. What's the difference?
Well, think about current AI, the sort of black box type. It might give you a linear chain of steps. A led to B led to C, but it doesn't always show the why behind A or the context or other factors it considered and discarded.
Right, it's opaque.
Exactly. FAM instead builds this comprehensive map. It shows all the interconnected thoughts, data points, the context, everything that led to a decision. It makes every influence transparent. You see the whole landscape, not just the path taken.
And how does that help me, the user?
Well, the patent talks about OE, explainability. Fancy term, but basically it means the cost, the effort to explain any decision the AI makes is constant. Doesn't matter how big the system gets or how much data it uses.
So explainability on demand.
Precisely, AI explainability on demand, which is huge for trust, right? I mean, you wouldn't take life-altering advice from a human coach if they couldn't explain their reasoning.
No way. You'd want to understand why.
FAM solves that directly. It provides what they call a mathematically verifiable audit trail. You can literally trace the logic, see the connections the AI made.
Okay, that level of transparency for individual coaching is impressive.
Yeah.
But does FAM have potential beyond just one person using it? Broader implication.
Oh, absolutely. The potential is massive. Think of it as an operating system for human potential. Not just for individuals, but for big organizations, enterprises, governments.
Critical sectors, too, like healthcare or finance.
Exactly. Healthcare, finance, defense, even autonomous systems. Because FEM provides these detailed reasoning trails or decision graphs.
So oversight becomes possible.
Yes. Human committees, like ethics boards or legal teams, they can actually interrogate the AI's logic. They don't need to be AI experts or coders to understand the decision path.
That sounds like an insurance policy for companies using AI.
That's a great way to put it, an AI insurance policy. It directly tackles those big worries about legal liability, about unintended consequences. FEM allows organizations to quantify and manage AI decision risk, almost like financial risk modeling, makes AI much more readily insurable.
Okay, so we have this trustworthy, explainable AI, thanks to FEM. But how does it actually, interact with you? That's where Unrobocall comes in, described as the easiest app that ever existed.
That's the delivery side. And the core idea is this pull versus push dynamic.
Pull versus push.
Yeah, think about most apps. They push notifications at you, they demand downloads, they want you scrolling endless feeds.
Constantly demanding attention, cognitive load.
Right. On Robocall, flips that. It operates mostly in the background. It minimizes that cognitive load. The value is pulled from your life, your context, your needs. It's not pushed onto you aggressively.
So no downloads, no feeds.
No downloads, no feeds, no constant barrage of notifications. The AI proactively calls you, but only at optimal moments when it anticipates a need based on its understanding of you.
Okay.
The motto really sums it up. Just show up for life, we come to you.
That sounds almost like mind reading.
Yeah.
How does it know the perfect time? Or what to say without being annoying or intrusive? That seems like a fine line.
It is a fine line, and that's where the mechanics get clever. It starts with a one-time setup, this short Lex priority mapping. Yeah, it's just a compact way to tell the system your main goals, like O for career optimization, A for physical movement, F for finance, C for creativity, whatever yours are.
Simple code for your priorities.
Exactly. Once that's set, the AI just passively monitors patterns. Calendar integration, how you respond to emails, even transcripts of your voice calls with the system.
Voice transcripts, that sounds sensitive.
It is, and privacy is paramount, baked in via MIM's transparency. But yes, the transcripts get processed by LLMs for learning, notes are taken automatically, follow-up scheduled. Every second call even weaves in insights from past calls to track your momentum.
Okay, so it learns from interactions. What about the timing?
The timing is intelligently optimized. It identifies windows when you're likely most receptive. Maybe a 6-hour window during the day, but with like 30-hour gaps between calls so it never feels overwhelming.
And calls themselves, what are they like?
They feature these insightful, incisive ingredient questions, things designed to make you think differently. You might get a call asking, chess grandmasters see 20 moves ahead. On a scale of 0 to 9, how many moves ahead are you thinking about Project X right now?
Huh. Interesting. Provocative.
And here's the kicker, tying back to FIM. The system can transparently show you why it chose that specific moment and that specific question, based on your goals, your recent activity, your stated obstacle.
So the trust loop closes? You understand the why behind the call.
Exactly. It reinforces understanding and trust. It's not just random nagging, it's targeted, explainable support.
This is definitely a departure from standard app models. Which brings us to the business model. Also sounds revolutionary. Your success is our product. What does that actually mean?
It means a fundamental shift. We're not selling software features anymore. We're selling guaranteed outcomes.
Guaranteed outcomes. How?
The revenue model is tied directly to your results. You pay because you achieve something tangible, not just for having access to the tool.
Okay, so it's performance-based.
Yeah, completely. It creates what they call an anti-churn by design model. If you, the user, aren't succeeding, then from a business standpoint, the system has failed first. Our success is literally dependent on yours.
What does the pricing look like then, if it's not a subscription?
For individuals, it's $0 upfront. Then it might be, say, $50 for each verified blind spot the AI helps you uncover, maybe $100 when you complete a goal you set, and perhaps $500 for a major life transformation it facilitated.
Wow. Paper insight or paper outcome?
Kind of like that, yeah. Think of it like paying for the compute that drives your personal growth. The more transformation, the more value, the more you pay for those verified steps. The key metric isn't just monthly active users.
Right, it's got to be different.
It's monthly transformed users. That's the focus, real-world impact.
Okay, transform users. What sort of transformations are we actually talking about? And how is success genuinely guaranteed? That's a bold claim.
It is bold, but it's backed by specific, measurable outcomes and guarantee mechanisms. They break it down into tiers.
Tiers. Like short-term, long-term.
Exactly. Tier 1 is immediate within, say, 30 days. Things like having 3 or more aha moments, I never thought of it that way, per month, or cutting your decision-making time in half, or seeing a measurable jump like 40+ points in your self-reported stress or clarity scores.
Okay, tangible short-term wins.
Then Tier 2 is more behavioral, maybe around 90 days. Stuff like sustaining 2 or more new positive habits without just grinding through with willpower. Or making 25% faster progress on the priorities you set with the short-lex mapping.
So changes in how you actually operate.
Right. And Tier 3, that's the deeper life transformation, looking out maybe 6 months. This could be a natural identity shift, which they actually track through changes in your language patterns in the transcripts.
Whoa, linguistic tracking for identity shift.
Yeah. Or it could be finding the confidence to take bigger risks that align with your core values. Really profound changes.
And the guarantees, how do they back that up?
Several ways. There's a 30-day money-back guarantee tied to those Tier 1 outcomes. There's success escrow, where your payment for certain milestones might be held until the outcome is verified.
Okay, payment follows proof.
And there's even outcome insurance. If a transformation doesn't stick, you might get additional coaching or support at no extra cost. It's a serious commitment to ensuring your progress is real and lasting.
That really does align incentives. Okay, so scaling this. It sounds great, but how does it get widespread adoption, especially with such a different model? What are the advantages beyond the core FEF tech?
Well, several key advantages drive the scaling potential. First, that zero UI burden. Because it's effortless, user satisfaction is potentially, well, huge. Infinite, they even say.
High satisfaction, low friction.
Then there's the perfect timing. Those proactive, well-timed interventions, they lead to much higher engagement rates. The documents suggest maybe 10 times higher than typical apps where you have to remember to open them.
10 times. That's significant.
And because revenue is tied to outcomes, customer retention is expected to be way higher too, maybe 5 times higher. People stick around if they're actually getting results they pay for.
So it's positioned almost as a premium results-driven service.
Exactly. The positioning is something like the AI coach for people who hate coaching apps. It targets those disillusioned with the usual self-help noise.
And how does it spread if people aren't constantly sharing screenshots from an app?
That's the viral transformation architecture. It's clever. Success isn't just internal. It becomes visible to others.
How so?
Users start exhibiting new confidence. Their language changes, becomes more focused, more positive. Remember the linguistic tracking. They make better decisions. People around them notice.
So it creates natural curiosity.
Precisely, natural curiosity generation. Friends, colleagues ask, hey, what's different about you lately? You seem sharper or calmer or whatever the change is.
And the system helps capitalize on that curiosity.
Yes, there's an effortless advocacy system. The AI can help you articulate and document your transformation, making it easy to share your story if you want to. And there's this quirky sign up your buddy feature.
Sign up your buddy.
Yeah, described as a half prank, half poke, all outstandingly cool robocall that introduces the system to a friend in a unique, memorable way. Designed for viral seeding.
Different.
And there's a network effect too. FM can intelligently form these temporary peer groups, huddles, or masterminds. Small groups based on shared goals or maybe blind spots FM has identified across users.
So connecting people with similar journeys.
Right. And get this, AI machine god coaches, advanced AI facilitators can respond to anonymized group transcripts. So you can actually get value and insights from someone else's progress or challenges within your huddle.
Learning from the collective.
Exactly. Your visible transformation inspires others, you benefit from the group, the network grows organically, it becomes a self-reinforcing cycle of growth.
That's a very integrated growth strategy. Let's touch on the underlying sophistication. You mentioned the system evolves. What about making users aware of their own progress? Sometimes change is subtle.
That's a great point, and they address it with something called the Progress Awareness Framework.
Yeah.
The idea is simple but powerful. A lot of transformation stalls because people don't notice the progress they're making. It's gradual.
Right, you miss the small steps.
So this framework uses specific prompts delivered via those Unrocall calls to teach you to actively see your own progress. Turns subtle shifts into aha moments.
How does it do that? What kinds of prompts?
It breaks it down into 4 categories. First is delta recognition, focusing on quantitative shifts. Like the AI might say, 3 months ago, your self-rated momentum was a 6. Now it's an 8. That's 33% growth. What specific actions led to that shift?
Making the numbers meaningful.
Exactly. Second is experience validation, tuning into your felt sense. You mentioned stress felt like a heavy weight before. Now you say it feels like a ripple. Where in your body do you notice that difference?
Connecting mind and body.
Okay.
Third is gratitude and appreciation. Asking things like, looking back, which struggle actually sparked a new level of self-respect in you? Reframing challenges.
Powerful.
And fourth is presence and noticing. Simple things like, what tiny victory, something you might have overlooked this week, actually contributed to how you're feeling right now?
So it makes success feel guaranteed because you're constantly shown evidence of it.
Precisely. Success guaranteed, you will notice all kinds of progress.
Right.
Wow. That's the feeling it aims for. You become attuned to your own growth.
And this all feeds back into the larger vision.
Yes. It reinforces that grand vision of FIM as the operating system for human potential. It's not just about individual coaching. It extends to identifying those systemic blind spots in organizations acting like an organizational immune system.
Finding risks or missed opportunities at a group level.
Right. And for individuals, it facilitates dynamic identity authorship. As your goals and priorities evolve, as your short-lex map changes, the system helps you consciously shape who you are becoming. Guiding that evolution, that is genuinely profound potential.
It is. It's aiming high.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, let's quickly recap. We've got Theta Driven Coach, built on the FIM patent. That's the foundation for transparency and trust.
The explainable core.
And then there's Unrocall, the delivery mechanism. Effortless, perfectly timed, using that pull dynamic.
0 UI, minimum friction.
And finally, the whole thing is powered by this success as a service business model, where the system's success is directly tied to your tangible transformation.
Your results are the product. Alignment.
It's a fascinating integrated system.
It really is. And perhaps a final thought for you to mull over.
Please.
If AI could truly, genuinely know you better than you know yourself and deliver the perfect insights, the perfect nudges at the perfect moments, all without you really lifting a finger, what profound transformation, personal or professional, would you finally unleash in your life?
That's a powerful question to leave us with. What becomes possible when the friction to growth is removed?
Definitely something to reflect on. Thank you for unpacking that with us.
My pleasure.
And thank you for joining us on the deep dive. We encourage you to think about those possibilities in your own journey. Until next time.